Find out why CSU students voted to join an employee union.
Find out what social media companies are facing in Texas and Florida and their views on censorship.
And SCA adjunct professors send a message loud and clear. The results of a vote to unionize coming up.
Annenberg TV News is next.
Over 7,000 California State University student assistants voted to unionize. Hi, I'm Sophie Sullivan.
And I'm Vincent Demonte. Let's go live to Malcolm Camieto on the campus of CSU LA for more on the vote and reaction.
Thank you, Vincent. I'm standing outside of CSU LA campus. You can see the beautiful campus behind me. Some students coming to and from class. Yes, it is raining. I did not prepare my clothing, but what I'm here to tell you is that CSU student workers voted to join the employee union at a 97% success rate out of 7,000 ballots. This means that student workers now have a voice when it comes for better pay, better working conditions, and better hours. We spoke to students about what these imply for the future.
Hopeful, more job positions. I think it would be a little bit more encouraging for students knowing that we have the same and equal benefits or resources, because a lot of people don't know that we don't have those resources, especially as students. So I think that helps, or that hopefully encourages students to join working.
Here's a list of demands for students that want to join the workers' union and are arguing for higher wages, paid sick time for student assistants, as well as more hours.
By the student assistants saying that they see this as well and coming into our union, it grows our number and power of showing to the CSU that we're just asking for what everyone else is asking for: fair, equitable wages and conditions that at the CSU that will support the academic learning of everyone.
Moving forward, student workers hope to also have their voices be heard at future bargaining agreements and be notified of resources that they could use in future agreements. Reporting for Annenberg Media, my name is Malcolm Camieto, sending it back to y'all in the studio.
Members of the adjunct faculty for the School of Cinematic Arts watched as ballots were counted. Would they vote to join a union? Reporter Khalif Starks was in the room where it happened.
The vote wasn't even close. Adjuncts at the USC School of Cinematic Arts voted overwhelmingly to join a union.
I've been teaching, last fall I was teaching 2 classes here and 1 at Chapman, and I had to go on food stamps because I actually couldn't afford, I'm a single mom and I have a big overhead, and even with me freelancing, and I have a professional career as well, I was having a hard time meeting all of my expenses.
Well, I like to joke that I teach here just for the health insurance, and it's not a joke. I need health insurance.
Instructors watched the historic count live in an SCA theater room. Only 13 workers voted against unionization, while 206 workers supported joining the United Auto Workers Union. Approximately 219 of the 281 eligible voters cast ballots. Adjunct faculty here at the cinema school say they want higher pay and better health care benefits. They want to be paid for the extra work they do, like class prep and training, and they want contracts that last longer than 1 semester.
People have gone and tried to ask for these things to be turned around, and the response is consistently, we just don't have the power, we can't help you. There's not enough money at the school, even though it's in the top 10 highest tuitions in the country.
The cinema school released this statement. While SCA would have preferred to work directly with our adjunct faculty, we are committed to bargaining in good faith to reach a fair contract. The cinema school adjuncts say they look forward to making USC a, quote, better place to work and learn. For Annenberg Media, I'm Khalif Starks.
The Supreme Court is hearing arguments in cases from both Florida and Texas, questioning the ability of social media companies to regulate content on their platforms. The landmark case questions the role of free speech in the world of social media censorship. Several justices expressed criticism of the Texas and Florida laws. Justice Amy Coney Barrett even described them as a, quote, landmine for future First Amendment issues. The Texas law prohibits companies from removing posts based on the user's political ideology. The Florida law bars student social media platforms from censoring political speech or suspending political candidates from their sites.
If the laws are upheld, then I think it will. You will see a patchwork of different states attempting to impose different restrictions on platforms, which is going to be challenging of how we think about platforms in that context of we have the right to speak, but does that mean that we have the right to be heard? And that's something that the justices are really still trying to wrestle with, as so is society.
Based on the questions and comments by the court, a majority of the justices will likely prevent both states from implementing these laws.
Billionaire Charles Koch says he will no longer fund Nikki Haley's presidential campaign. In a leaked email, the Koch network noted that they don't believe Haley can make a meaningful impact in the race for the GOP nomination. Without the help of the Koch network and Super PAC, the campaign will have to rely on grassroots efforts.
Than we are defense budget.
So far in the 2024 primaries, Nikki Haley has lost in Iowa, New Hampshire, Nevada, the U.S. Virgin Islands, and this past weekend in her home state of South Carolina. Super Tuesday is on March 5th. It'll be a major test for Haley as voters go to the polls in 15 states.
For many Gen Zers, the 2024 election will be their first time casting a ballot. According to the LA Registrar's Office, Gen Z voters make up nearly 20% of all registered voters in Los Angeles County. Primary elections historically have a low voter turnout. Many USC students said that they're unsure about the voting process and whether to hit the polls.
I feel like there's not a lot of news, or at least where a lot of people watch news. I feel like you have to look for the information. It's not really like out there for you to even seeing it up on the wall, oh, this person's running for this or they're voting for this. It's just vote, but there's no information behind it.
I'd say accessibility really hinges on how well candidates are willing to use social media and that type of thing. I also think it's about outreach and making very clear their platforms, because I think we start to see a lot of apathy towards in our current political landscape. And I think the way we can combat that is really through reaching out to younger voters through having younger representatives or having them work with younger representatives on their campaigns and teams.
Based on recent election trends, the likelihood of younger voters going to the polls has been going down. Between 2019 and 2013, there was a 10% decrease in the likelihood that 18 to 24-year-olds would vote.
The sooner a person votes in their life, the more likely they are to do it for the rest of their lives. For a lot of young people in Gen Z, they care about issues like climate change, college affordability, gun violence, the economy. Can I get a good job after I graduate? To make progress on those issues, young people have to show up, because those older generations are not doing it for you guys. So you got to show up and let the world know, let America know, let your leaders know, become those leaders so you can make the change you want to see.
For USC voters, there's a mail-in ballot box in the USC Village. A polling place will be at the Hoover Recreation Center on West 25th Street.
President Joe Biden will travel to the border this Thursday to address the immigration crisis, the same day that former President Donald Trump is scheduled to visit. Biden's trip underscores his urgency in tightening border restrictions, while Trump plans to campaign for a domestic deportation operation.
Federal labor officials resumed their hearing today to determine whether student athletes will be considered employees of their university and the NCAA. Many smaller Division II, III, and HBCUs are now concerned about the survival of their programs.
It's scary for us at Division III. It's scary. If we are required to pay our student athletes, a lot of schools, most athletic departments can't afford that. The worry is that athletic departments are going to close down or just move to this club model, everyone kind of pays their own way kind of thing.
Some experts disagree, however, saying that a ruling in favor of employee status will have minimal effects.
You have to think a program, a university like ours, has an advantage when it comes to this. Obviously, the size, the tradition, the market that we're in. But I don't think it's a slam dunk that a smaller school is going to be impacted more in any way, negative or positive.
Court proceedings are expected to take several years until any final verdict is reached. The Oscars are more than a week away, but we may already have a good idea of this year's winners.
Learn about how surfing might now be a new form of therapy for some.
And see how Lily Gladstone's victory at the SAG Awards this weekend means to the Native American community.
Let me tell you how we amplify our Latine voices. Let me tell you how we amplify our Latine voices. Check out Dímelo. We have it all. Deportes.
Entertainment. Noticias. ¿Qué tal? Soy Mariela Gómez y bienvenidos a Dime la Hora.
Radio and podcasting.
Comida y cultura. Digital social media.
¿A qué equipo le vas tú? LA Galaxy o LAFC? Dímelo is the only Latina-focused media outlet at USC. Dímelo. We have it all.
Dímelo. We have it all.
Mr. Owl, how many licks does it take to get to the Tootsie Roll center of a Tootsie Pop?
Let's find out. 1, 2, 3.
How many licks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop? The world may never know.
There's a new pet.
Chia.
Chia Pet, the pottery that grows. It's fun and easy. Soak your chia, spread the seeds, keep it watered, and watch it grow. And now grow a whole collection of fun with chia teddy bears, puppies, kittens, rams, bulls. There's even a chia tree to keep your pets company. Chia Pets and Trees, the pottery that grows.
The Chia Pet and Chia Tree are available at Kmart, Rite Aid, Ames, and Woolworth. Makes a great gift.
The Screen Actors Guild Awards were in full swing on Saturday at the Shrine Auditorium. The winners often become the frontrunners for this year's Oscar race. Some winners for movies this year included Cillian Murphy winning Best Male Actor, Robert Downey Jr. taking home Best Supporting Male Actor, and Divine Joy Randolph securing Best Supporting Female Actress.
For this incredible honor.
I mean, I think that would make a lot of sense. I, again, loved the winners, loved seeing everyone there, so I think it's a great way to predict it.
I think the Oscars kind of like operate on their own a little bit, and it is like a very kind of like political machine, and so I think they kind of like see which projects are doing well.
Since SAG's inception in 1995, the awards have predicted Oscar winners for the acting categories about 72% of the time. Award season culminates at the Academy Awards on Sunday, March 10th. Some of the most nominated films this year include Oppenheimer, Poor Things, and fan favorite Killer of the Flower Moon.
We bring empathy into a world that so much needs it. It's so easy to distance ourselves. It's so easy to close off, to stop feeling, and we all bravely keep feeling. And that humanizes people. That brings people out of the shadows. It brings visibility.
Among the major wins was Lily Gladstone for Best Female Actress. The visibility she spoke of is significant for Native American audiences across the country.
Just because you're not represented doesn't mean you can't be the first to be represented, and I think Lily's really bringing that upon us and really just making Native people, and especially Native American girls, believe that they can succeed and be appreciated for who they are. Yeah. And it really opens up the story to talk about what happened in the past to make sure it doesn't happen, especially when it involves the harm of Native American women.
Janelle Romero is a Native American actress who started her own nonprofit for Indigenous women in media. She said Gladstone's win is a sign of what the industry could soon become.
Beauty and the talent that we have in Indian country is extraordinary. And we just need to be nurtured. Zon McLaren and for Dark Winds is executive producer, and Lily Gladstone from Killers of the Flower Moon completely being nurtured by the industry. Those are just two. What if there were hundreds being nurtured?
If Gladstone secures the Oscar on March 10th, she will become the first Native American actress to ever win the award.
Grab your surfboards, head to the beach, and shout Shaka Bra, because it might be time to hit the curl as a new form of therapy. Erica Driscoll has the story.
Surf's up,
Jason Kutch is studying a less known reason to jump on a board, a relief of chronic pain. Jason Kutch discovered the joy of surfing when he moved to LA, and he discovered something else.
I could be in a lot of pain, go into the water for a 45-minute surfing session, and come out without any pain at all.
So, the USC professor and PhD students like Jason Sharon are building a surfboard simulator to see if the pain relief experienced in the water can be matched out of the water.
Building the features that we've incorporated now, as well as just smoothing out and making sure it looked presentable and it was user-friendly.
Jason showed me how to pop on the virtual goggles, and I went surfing for the first time. I saw fish, pirate ships, palm trees, and birds. Thank goodness there are no sharks in these waters. Plus, the fan creates an ocean breeze, and next up is incorporating the salty ocean scent.
You don't need to live near the beach to catch this wave. You might just be experiencing that surfer's high and relief of chronic pain at your next physical therapy visit.
We really want people to be able to pop up like they do in real surfing, so paddle with their hands, put their hands down, pop up and stand. But we don't want to do any of that before we have a good safety system from above. So we're going to have an anchor point very high in the ceiling here, a full body harness that the surfer's wearing, and then a person standing off of the board belaying them.
Professor Kutch says surfing is an immersive sensory environment, it's not a static environment, and you have to do a goal-directed task.
I think what surfing can do is redirect attention away from pain, kind of give a release from that hyper-focus on that painful area of the body.
Soon, Kutch will run a bigger study to see if surf therapy truly can bring pain management to people, even if they don't live near the coast. For Annenberg Media, I'm Erica Driscoll.
Well, I don't know about you, but that story made me really want to grab a board and head on down to the beach. Hopefully we got some sunshine on the forecast so that we can, really enjoy soaking up the rays down in the sand. So Avi, tell us, what are we looking at for our 5-day forecast? Are we expecting some sun, or are we stuck with some more rain?
You know what, Vincent? I think I got some good news for you. Good afternoon, Los Angeles. Another beautiful day here in the city. Let's take a look at today's current conditions. It's remained mostly cloudy. Today, keeping in that low 60s, high 50s range. We've experienced a couple showers here and there, but let's hope for some nicer weather in our week. The week looks to start off great, high 60s and sunny skies. Then we're going to see a little shift to a little cooler than what we expect to see in SoCal, with 61 and 57 on Friday and Saturday. Clearly, we're still going to be in for some rain this winter season. Will, how are you going to spend the next 3 sunny days that we have?
Yeah, I'll be outside. I'm not sure I'll be down on the beach surfing. However, we've got some sports to talk about. Next, we'll tell you about how USC baseball picked up its first win of the season in dramatic fashion. And women's hoops had a pair of top 20 showdowns at Galen Center as the Pac-12 regular season winds down. Finally, 3-time defending national champions USC Beach Volleyball kicked off its season out in Hawaii. Let's see how the Trojans fared after the break.
Bonjour, je suis le grand musée.
Je suis la jeune fille.
Yes, that's French they're speaking, and no, these children aren't French, they're American. And they've acquired their amazing new language skills from Muzzy, the remarkable new video language program for children developed by the British Broadcasting Corporation. With this unique BBC language course, children learn a second language with incredible ease. 4 delightful videos quickly become their favorite TV show and teaches children the same way they learned English. Learning another language becomes fun. You'll be amazed when your children begin speaking and understanding their new language from the very first day through this unique method. The entire course, 4 videos, 2 audio cassettes, the activity book, and the parent's guide and answer book is available in French, Spanish, Italian, or German.
To order, use your credit card and call this number. We'll ship and charge you $28.08 a month for 6 months. Your satisfaction is guaranteed. Call 1-800-424-0700.
Okay, this stuff is really amazing. I mean, I put it in my mouth and I taste watermelon, but it's not just that. I taste strawberry too, but it's kind of like a watermelon-y strawberry put together. Hey, hang on. Sorry about that. And the bubbles are really awesome. I mean, that's why they call it Max, I guess, obviously. That sort of makes sense once you think about it. Oh, I'm Dan, and that's Chuck.
Hubba Max, a whole new kind of bubble. Hey!
Welcome back to ATVN Sports. I'm Will Simonds.
And I'm Nolan Ezzet. We've got some college and pro level sports to cover, but first, let's go take a trip to Westwood. USC men's basketball beat crosstown rival UCLA 62-56 at Poly Pavilion on Saturday. The Trojans were looking for revenge after falling to the Bruins 65-50 at home last month. In a defensive battle, USC's 12 steals proved to be the difference maker. Shooting was rough for most guys on the hardwood, except for Boogie Ellis. The fifth-year senior carried his squad with 24 points on 9 of 18 shooting.
I feel like this year we haven't been too good when teams make their runs, staying poised and getting good shots and stuff like that. So we just, as a leader, just telling them, we got to get good shots and take advantage of mismatches.
The Trojans and their disappointing 11-16 record are not doing much to help them win an NCAA tournament bid, but they can still win the Pac-12 championship. So Will, my question to you, do you think they can bring up some momentum and do well in that tournament and maybe win the Pac-12 championship?
After Saturday night, not really. I mean, UCLA lost that game more than USC won it. So that wasn't a win. Like, it's a rivalry win. That's always nice, but that wasn't a win that inspires a whole lot of confidence for me in USC's ability to win 4 straight games in Vegas against a couple of good teams that they'll need to beat.
What about a guy just like Boogie Ellis? I mean, he's finally had 2 straight great games. He had a 30-point game a few days ago. He just had that 24-point game. I mean, if there's anyone who can do something for this team, it's probably him. And he's finally heating up. In the Pac-12, there's Arizona, which has been a little bit of a fluky team. You never know what to expect. You don't think the Trojans can maybe take them down in a battle?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just not sure Boogie Ellis can put this team on his back this season because USC needs a lot more than just a guard to get hot. They need to rebound better. They need to play defense better. There's a lot more issues than just, hey, Boogie Ellis can make a bunch of threes. Like, there's a lot more deep-seated issues, in my opinion.
Hope you're wrong, but you might not be.
Back home at Galen, USC women's basketball tried to stay in contention atop the Pac-12 with a pair of matchups against number 11 Colorado and number 18 Utah. The Trojans caught fire to beat the Buffs Friday, draining almost 70% of their threes in an 87-81 win. Juju Watkins led the way with 42 points, including a perfect 18 for 18 at the charity stripe. Sunday's senior day matchup with the Utes was a different story, though. Watkins had 30 points, but was much less efficient in a tough 74-68 defeat. With the Trojans' defeat yesterday, the top half of the Pac-12 standings is chaos. Stanford has clinched a share of the Pac-12 regular season title, while the next 5 teams are separated by only a game. With 2 wins this weekend against the Arizona schools, USC will lock up a top 4 seed and a first-round bye in next week's Pac-12 tournament, and possibly a share of the conference regular season title with Stanford. Heading down to Irvine, USC baseball lost its series opener to Portland Friday to fall to 0-5 on the season. The Trojans then allowed Portland to come back from a 5-run deficit Saturday night. But sophomore pinch hitter Ethan Hedges saved the day in the bottom of the 9th. With 2 runners on, he scorched a walk-off double to finally get USC in the win column with a 6-5 victory. Here's what Hedges had to say after his much-needed hit.
Coming off the bench there in the 9th, I just want to see a few pitches. Got a good fastball I took just to see a pitch, and then I saw that hanging curveball and got the head out. Knew bailed it up, thought it was going to leave, but hit the wall. Still got the job done though.
The Trojans kept up the momentum on Sunday, collecting a 10-4 win to clinch a much-needed series victory. They're back in action tomorrow night against Michigan at LMU's Page Stadium.
Los Angeles' second favorite child, the LA Clippers, have rebranded their identity in preparation for their new home next year in Inglewood at Intuit Dome. The Clippers released photos of a new logo, 3 new jerseys, and a new court design. The logo centers the silhouette of an oncoming Clipper ship. It's a reference to the team's origins in San Diego. These new designs will debut next season. Now, Will, being the huge Clippers fan that I am, as much as I love wearing this hat, nowhere here do you see a Clipper ship, and that's why no one knows what the Clippers are. So I think it's a great rebrand. People now know what a Clipper ship even is. What do you think about it?
Yeah, I like it a lot. I like the new colors, the little navy blue. I think that's kind of a sort of an older school vibe for the Clippers that I really like. And yeah, I think it's a cool new logo. The ship looks cool. It's maybe not quite a Clipper ship, but it's something that's a little bit more appropriate for what the team is and sort of what they represent.
It's not just letters anymore.
Yeah.
Men's volleyball, let's just say they got it handed to them this weekend at Antelope Gymnasium in Phoenix. After losing 3-1 against Grand Canyon University on Friday, they got back up on 2 feet and then fell right back down the very next day. They were swept 3-0 on Saturday. The Trojans will look to get one back in the win column with a home match against UCLA on Thursday.
Meanwhile, USC lacrosse dropped its first contest of the season Saturday to Michigan. Senior attacker Shelby Tilton had all of the Trojan goals in the 9-3 home loss. The number 16 Trojans will now head east this weekend for a 3-game road trip starting at Towson. Finally, as it starts its quest for a national title four-peat, USC beach volleyball had played a tournament in Hawaii this weekend. The top-ranked Trojans reached the gold medal duel on Saturday, but fell 4-1 against UCLA. And even with that beach volleyball defeat, USC went 2-1 against the Bruins this week. And in my opinion, that's a good week. Anyways, that's all we have for sports. I'm Will Simonds.
And I'm Nolan Ezzet. Now let's go toss it to Sophie at the monitor.
Next, we'll learn about a fellow Trojan who's been inspired by the world's architecture in this week's Trojan Spotlight.
Let me tell you how we amplify our Latine voices. Check out Dímelo. We have it all.
Deportes.
Entertainment. Noticias. ¿Qué tal? Soy Mariela Gómez y bienvenidos a Dime la Hora.
Radio and podcasting.
Comida y cultura. Digital social media.
¿A qué equipo le vas tú? LA Galaxy o LAFC? Dímelo is the only Latina-focused media outlet at USC. Dímelo. We have it all.
Dímelo. We have it all.
Want quality name brand carpet for less?
Call Empire and you can get quality carpet at the lowest price guaranteed. And no payments for 1 year.
800-588-2300 Empire.
Today.
I've replaced your shoelaces with fruit by the foot.
So you did. I replaced your fingers with fruit by the foot.
Bravo. I've replaced your bones with fruit by the foot.
Indeed you have. I replaced your guitar strings with fruit by the foot.
Seems like a step backwards, but alright. I've replaced your DNA with fruit by the foot. That would be end game, my friend.
Fruit by the foot. Fruit-flavored snack.
Now let's go to Issa for this week's edition of Trojan Spotlight with a student who's building her own path for success.
This week I spoke to Hyana Rowe. She's a world traveler with a sturdy foundation and a passion for sustainable architecture. USC architecture students spend most of their time in the studio perfecting their projects. Hyana's dream is to work on large entertainment spaces with an emphasis on sustainable practices.
So, a little more background information. This basketball sports complex is going to be located in Pasadena. And I know Rose, the Pasadena Rose, is the big symbol there. And since the sports complex is dedicated to the residents of Pasadena, I wanted this roof structure to kind of mimic literally a rose. But sustainability is the future of many things, especially architecture, because we're always trying to save energy and material.
Has her lead certification, leadership in energy and environmental design. And in the future, she hopes to transform her sports complex project into a real Olympic stadium for many sports, including volleyball. That's her favorite.
Well, thanks for watching Annenberg TV News. For everyone at Annenberg Media, I'm Vincent Demonte.
And I'm Sophie Sullivan. For more coverage, watch and subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/Annenberg Media. Thank you and good night.